Hey, it's Rashida, and today I'm here with some quick tips for you if you plan on visiting Mexico City. Now, my last video was about why I'm staying in Mexico City. Now, I've lived here for a year on and off, and whether I was going to stay or not was never a question for me, but it was a question for other people. So I answered, yes, I'm staying, and I gave all my reasons. I'll link those above. But for today, what we're talking about is what you need to know if you're visiting. Let's go. What do you think I'm going to say first? Any idea? Well, first I'm going to say, this wasn't on my list, but if you can hear the banging in the background, it's a noisy city. If you don't know, you've heard me say, if you watch any of my videos, you know, this is a noisy city. So if you're coming for peace and quiet, don't come to Mexico City. Love you. Wish you the best. It's not a peace and quiet city. We don't do that here. We do loud, we do raucous, we do parties in the middle of the night. We do a dog in the hallway right now barking. This knocking goes on multiple times a week for hours at a time. I think they're fixing the elevator, and I'm close to the elevator shaft. I think there's an elevator that's wonky and they're fixing it, but it's been like 3 months of this banging, and I don't know for sure what it is, and I'm displeased. But you know, we're here, we move. You don't expect quiet here. All right, let's really get into it. First, do not expect English here. Now, if you're in the tourist areas, if you're in some of the more popular areas with our digital nomad friends and our immigrant friends, you're going to maybe get one waiter or two in a restaurant that speak English if they're catering to foreigners. In most of the city, good luck, God bless, open your translation app. So yes, get a translation app. I love Google Translate just because it's right there, it's easy. And make sure you've downloaded the language you want to use offline in case you're somewhere and you don't have internet, you don't have Wi-Fi, you're still able to do your translations. I find it works better, especially if my cell service is kind of slow or spotty. I love having the language downloaded so I don't have to rely on that. They can just boom, 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 do a translation for me. I don't use a translation app a lot here. I think that's due to two things. One, my Spanish is getting better. And two, I don't have to understand everything. I understand a lot of things. I don't live a life where I need to understand everything. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with being like, I got about 50% of what you said, but I'm picking up the vibe. Let's do this, right? Like, okay. But if you're not that kind of person and you need to know 100% of what people are saying, get a translation app. Also, really important, learn how to comfortably say, I don't speak Spanish. Please repeat. Or, I don't speak Spanish. Please say that slower. I say, hablo poquito español. Despacio, por favor. Is it right? I think so. That's what my Spanish teacher taught me to say. It works sometimes. Sometimes, there's a video coming up on this. I told a government official, I asked them to slow down for me, and she just walked away with my ID. She had my ID. I was like, baby, I don't understand what you're saying. Can you slow down? And she was like, I'm done with you, and walked away with my ID. Did what she needed to do and brought it back. Like, I'm not even gonna try to talk to you because you're not. She was like, no. Anyway, it was fine. It's not a big deal, but not everyone is going to repeat it slowly for you. Some people are just going to be like, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, and you can figure out what happened later on. And that's truly what happened there. Video to come about that experience. In Mexico City, the public transportation is really good. Ubers are cheap and plentiful until they're not. Like yesterday, I called one and the wait time was 20 minutes. Metros are 5 pesos, buses are 7. Get on if you can. It is generally quicker, easier, and less death-defying to take public transportation than it is to get an Uber. So it's totally an option. You can rent it. Nope. I was going to say you can hire a vehicle. You can hire a driver. Lots of ways to do it. But yeah, don't be afraid to take the public transportation here. They have cars that are just for women. So women, if you're watching this, most buses have a section that's just for women, or at least a couple of seats. And most trains have cars that are just for women for at least a couple hours out of the day. So I've always gotten on a train that has a female only car, and I get in there and it's cool. No big deal. And the subway stations are clean. They have Wi-Fi. There are lots of police presence, but not like that oppressive police presence. They're just here to make sure that you're safe, right? It feels good. But also, don't rent a car. I've covered this before in videos. If you saw the video with Danny, you know that she got arrested for an accident that was not her fault. It was outside of Mexico City. It was in Chapala. But the drivers here, they defy the rules of like physics, logic, traffic, everything. It's kind of wild. I know people here who drive here, but I don't recommend it. I also don't recommend renting a car, because it's usually cheaper to like get on a bus and get out of town than to rent a car. Most people who come here don't need a car. I have seen people say they want to rent a car to get around in the city, and it's like you're doing too much. Doing too much. If you rent a car in Mexico City, 95% chance you're doing too much, unless like you live here and you need it for a reason. But if you're just visiting, it's not usually a good idea. I don't recommend it at all. And now we're at the good part. If you want to eat somewhere, you'll want to eat at a restaurant you've heard about. If you have heard about it outside of Mexico City and you want to eat there, make your reservations 2 months in advance. I'm not playing. I'm telling you. If you have heard of a restaurant and you're coming here and part of your plan is to eat here, at least 2 months in advance, make reservations. We don't play here. We do not play. We do not play. Make your reservations. If there is a popular bar that you want to have a drink at, even including a lot of the hotel bars, make your reservations 2 months in advance. Otherwise, might not be happening for you. Might not be happening for you. My friend in town tried to make a reservation 6 weeks in advance for a hotel bar, and they were like, no, you're too late. 6 weeks. They said, no, baby, we don't. No. You want to come in here? No. 6 weeks? No. And it's a Monday. It's not a Friday or a Saturday. It's a Monday or a Tuesday, but I think it's a Monday. It's a Monday. And no reservations 6 weeks in advance. If you want to eat or drink anywhere in particular, and it's a place that accepts reservations, not if it requires reservations, but if it accepts reservations, get on Opal Table and find out. Get on the website, do a little clickety-clackety-clack, find out if they accept reservations at least 2 months in advance. Another important timing issue, if you're planning on coming to town for any kind of celebration, any big event, Formula One, Dia de Muertos, any of those things, book your hotel 6 months in advance. Hi, we don't play. Once again, book your hotel 6 months in advance if you're coming, at least if you're coming for any kind of event, because it's already a city of 20-something million. And it's getting very popular now with people. So yes, at least 6 months in advance if you're coming. Now, I'm not saying that if you can't book something a week in advance. You can. Are you going to get what you want at the price you want? Probably not. If you're booking an Airbnb, also way in advance, because the prices are going up and these things are booking up. So don't wait, don't delay. There's no reason to delay. Lastly, this tip is for wherever you're going, but specifically for Mexico City, I'm going to say, get your money from an ATM. Do not convert money at those little money changing booths in the airport. There are a ton of ATMs in the airport. They're super safe. Whenever I land, I get cash because I could always use more cash. Go to the ATM. There's like 6 different bank ATMs there. They're all safe. They're all fine. No one is going to rob you because they saw you take money at the ATM. You'll be fine. And from the airport, you can take taxis or Ubers, a variety of transportation out of there. The taxis lately have been cheaper than the Ubers, but sometimes the taxis don't really know the area. And since Uber sends you directly, that can be a little bit more convenient. So that was a 2-for-1. When you get here, you have to worry about transportation. Any time of day, you can take a taxi or an Uber and get your money from the ATM. If you're exchanging money with someone, like dollars for pesos, sometimes you might get a fake peso. It doesn't usually happen at the banks with ATMs. So don't exchange your money because you get a crappy rate. You might get fake money and you don't know what a real peso looks like versus a fake peso. I don't think I know what a real peso, like, I don't know, but I could look at a counterfeit peso and be like, yep, that's counterfeit. So don't do that. Just go to the ATM and take your money out. Best fees, the ATMs are fine. There's not a problem there. All right, question for you. I think I'm going to be coming out with a Mexico City guide soon. So I want you to tell me what you'd like to see in there. Like, what category of things would you like to see in the guide? Drop it below in the comments. And hey, if you're new here, I'm Rashida. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do that now. If you haven't liked it, why not? I'll catch you next time. Bye.